Shh.
Let me just start off this review by saying I have never been let down so much by a game in my entire life. Like, I know licensed games are usually trash, especially from this period, as during 2007 the video game market was rife with cash-in games. But why did this game leave such a stale taste in my mouth? Well, because it's written by the writers Tim Long and Matt Warburton, who have been responsible for over 30 episodes of The Simpsons between them. It's riddled with cutscenes that could easily be mistaken for Simpsons episodes. It has platforming, puzzle solving, original music, voice acting, the list goes on and on. It's a shame, despite the all-star cast and a seasoned developer behind this game, that it can eat my proverbial shorts. As you can see here, the game starts off amazingly, mimicking the classic Simpsons episode where you're dancing through the chocolate world and following the rabbit. However, this is as good as the game gets. The locale is very colourful and extremely good looking for a PSP game. I found myself beaming from ear to ear as I got to live out my fantasy of being in the Simpsons world. You're introduced to collectibles you'll find dotted around the game, such as cliches which poke fun at gaming trends, bottle caps for Homer, Malibu Stacy for Lisa, coupons for Marge, and finally comics for Bart. Maggie is a playable character too, but you play as her only a handful of times. The Maggie sections actually remind me of Doom, though I'm not sure if that's intentional.
Empty calories.
It's when you get to the giant cake on the first level that things start to fall apart. What was originally intended as an introduction to the camera system turned into a foreshadowing for what would be the rest of the game, battling the camera. To control the camera, you have to hold L and then look around with the analog nub. However, the way the game is designed, the camera typically has a mind of its own, almost never pointing in the way you want to look. And when you move the camera, it just snaps back to where it was originally placed, hindering what might have been an enjoyable experience. A lot of the game, I just found myself walking towards the camera, hoping I'm in the right direction. And therein lies the bulk of the issues with the game. There's a boss where you have to fight a donut boy by jumping on small platforms on his back, but the angling of the camera and jumping is so hard that simple tasks like jumping across the platform is pretty much impossible. It's so difficult it makes actual hard games like Dark Souls seem like a walk in the park. Actually, it's a good point. This game is the Dark Souls of licensed games. There, I said it. The actual character controls aren't that bad. All the characters can lock onto things, which makes doing a lot of tasks really easy, whether it's controlling a crowd or firing a slingshot. Okay, not all characters. Homer's are really hard to control, as you have to battle the camera. Considering the camera is the only thing holding this game back, it's actually an amazing and fun game. Animation is top notch and mimics that of the cartoon perfectly. Voice acting is amazing as you can listen to characters with their fun anecdotes relating to their current situation. Each level is sandwiched with cutscenes styled after the show rather than trying to do some weird 3D thing they later do in Simpsons Hit and Run. The level variety is really good, all themed after different Simpsons episodes and famous moments, though sadly they didn't include my favourite moment, which was Homer saving the plant with Moe.
It's all your fault! Okay, gotta pick a button, pick a button, pick a button. No, 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4. No, wait! Bubblegum in a dish!
15 seconds to core meltdown.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
The game sadly doesn't just fall apart with the camera. The game tries to do a lot of things and can't seem to do any of them well. Platforming, it's really bad. The puzzles are basic and lack any real ambition. Actually, there's even a rhythm game at the end, which would have been a lot of fun, but it was just a matter of matching buttons to the enemies rather than to the beat of the music. I actually found it weird there was no option for cooperative play, as this game would have been really fun. A lot of the puzzles actually involved making characters work together to open doors and lower platforms. Weirdly, the last hour of the game is the most polished section of the game. The platform sections would lock the camera in the angle you'd need to perfectly jump across ledges. It had challenges that actually forced you to think and consider your actions before taking action. It had appropriately placed enemies which didn't impact gameplay too much, and actually added an additional challenge. The last level is what I wish the entire game had been like up to this point. Had Simpsons the game had as much effort put into the game as the last level did, I'd have probably given this a solid 7 out of 10. Sadly, this barely playable monster is getting a 4. The acting, cutscenes and writing sadly were not enough to save what should have been an instant classic. This actually would be ripe for a remake, as if they fixed all the above noted issues, the game in my eyes would be an instant classic.
It's just more painful than the last!
But what can we do? We're just highly rendered pixels in a universe we can't control. Even as we speak, Springfield is being destroyed by a hackneyed alien invasion premise. Oh, somehow it's not a cliche when it's happening.
Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more reviews, videos and all that jazz. And yes, I am recording in bed.